Hi, hello, welcome to our podcast. This is directly to you. It's episode 216. We're Redirect. I'm AJ. I'm joined by Parker. He's also a Redirect.
Hello.
I'm not going to sell. I'm not pressing no buttons, so no extra intros for you guys, hopefully. But you could support this show by going to youtube.com/watchredirect or twitch.tv/watchredirect or patreon.com/watchredirect. And in exchange for the different levels of money, you get loyalty badges, emotes, free Switch keys, time to time, all that other stuff. But like the best deal right now, the like best bang for your buck is the 8-bit membership, because for that you get access to the game nights. You get to hang out when we like right now. I'm playing a lot of Splatoon. And since Splatoon is like very easy to just like jump in, jump out, we've been playing a lot with the community where like I'll say I'm jumping in and I'm just playing the game. And then I'll see Alec will jump in and Trev will jump in and then like other people will join in and I just go in the game night Discord and we just hang out in that. It's like off stream, on stream, whatever. So like if you want to be a part of that, you could either just pledge $8 on our Patreon, or you can like Prime sub on Twitch or join as a member on YouTube and then give the remaining $3 or whatever it is on Patreon, and then you'll get the honorary 8-bit roll on our Discord. And for that, and also $4, you'll be able to like listen to us record this show live and contribute to the chat and whatnot. I feel like we don't give that breakdown enough because there's not an easy way to do it. But yes, that is the thing that we can do. So if you want to play Splatoon, if you're looking for somebody to play Splatoon with, and you also want to support the channel, like both of those things, like I want to make it clear that like do not pay us just to play Splatoon with us, but if you want to support the channel, that's additional incentive. We have been playing this game every day since it came out. It's pretty fun. But anyways, we're freaking we got a show to currently do right now. It's true. Nintendo Direct, man. Nintendo Direct happened.
It truly did. Yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, so before we get into it, before we get into the specific things, I told you what I wanted the title of the video or the podcast or the something or segment or something like that to be. And so let's just talk about, first of all, how did you think the Direct was just overall? General impressions.
I think the Direct was good. It was a good Direct. Yeah. And it checked all the boxes that I generally look for in a Nintendo Direct. Which is, for the most part, like broadly, it's like big new game that we didn't know about. Announcements that at least one or two announcements that's something that people have wanted for a really long time. And just like my number is like 4 games that I personally want to play. Like if there's 4 games, even if it's like games that like I'm not for sure going to buy, it's just 4 games that's like, oh, that looks interesting, I could see myself playing that. It's a great Direct for me, and all those things are true. And we can, like, when we go through it, if we do announcement by announcement or whatever, I can identify what I'm talking about specifically. But yeah, no, I think it was a really solid Direct.
No, I think that's good metrics, honestly, just for those things, because like, again, sometimes it's hard to say when some games are, or like some Directs have a lot of games that are for you specifically, then it's got other ones, or there's people that those games aren't for them, that kind of a thing. But like having just a specific, a rough number or whatever of like, if there's a couple of games that I'm looking forward to, that's basically how I feel about all that too. It's just I
think a lot of people get really tied up in everything else that's announced that you're not interested in. Like, they could literally, if the one game that's for you that they announced becomes your favorite game of all time, if they announced a lot of games that you're not into, the Direct is going to be worse. And that to me, I think is dumb. Like the thing going around right now, it's like, it's so many farming sims. Yeah, but you guys have been begging about freaking Pikmin 4 since the dawn of time, and we got that. Like Fire Emblem, a new Fire Emblem game, pretty hype. It's one of their bigger franchises right now. And again, there's other stuff that's pretty cool. But because there was like, a lot of farming simulators, people are mad about that. It's like, so what? If you were a farming simulator fan, you'd be popping off.
I mean, so honestly, the games that Ashley got the most excited about, I think, like 2 of them were some of the farming sim games. So like worked for some people, but like obviously it's not the people that are like probably the most vocal about it or whatever, but there were definitely people that are like, oh, that's awesome. And like some games that I didn't care about at all, I talked to like my godson, and he was excited about certain games that I didn't care about specifically, but I was like, nice, very glad that you're excited. So yeah, I think my thought with all this, hence the title and all that, is I think Nintendo's also like never trying to pull out all of the stops in one direct, and every time people seem to think that that's what's going to happen, and so like, but that's just never going to happen, so I think, and that's just fine. So I think they're always
never supposed to happen. Like they're not trying to be Sony at E3. They're not trying to be like, we're going to announce everything that's super cool that we ever thought about working on. Because like, even if they
then the next show
exactly, like,
is like,
what are you going to talk about for the next 3 years if you announce the game that's coming out 3 years from now,
I mean, then the next time they have to announce something that's coming out in 3.5 years, and then something in 4 years, at that point it just becomes a roller coaster of like, you got to catch up at some point.
Like, exactly, like eventually you just have 2 years of them just reminding us about the games that we already knew about for forever,
while they bide their time.
Is actually no good. Like, those are actually when directs and presentations are bad, is when the whole thing is games that we already knew about. Like, preference be damned, I don't really care about that, especially for something like this, because again, it is an ad. It's not them giving us a present. It's not Santa. It may feel like Christmas, because it's pretty hype. It's like, yo, we get all these new games, but it is a series of ads. You gotta realize that, because you'll be less mad about everything if you realize that. It's like, okay, these are a series of ads. Are any of these ads applicable to me? Dope, cool. I got what I came here for. They're not writing you a love letter.
Yeah. True. So yeah, that's stuff. And speaking of those ads, let's go through some of them, I guess, and talk about what happened. So yeah, I guess we go in order. We've tried to do other things other times, but like, it's just easier to do it in order. And like, there's a couple other things for us to talk about, but at the same time,
pulled up.
Yeah, nice, perfect.
Breaking it down and whatnot.
Sweet. So first up was Fire Emblem Engage, which was 100% leaked. I mean, it was very definitely a game that was leaked earlier this year at some point. I think during the summer, something like that. But still, like, I mean, new Fire Emblem game, and has mechanics where you bring back old member, or like, Marth and other people from older games and stuff, and can use them as part of your team, but it's like their essence or their spirit, or the emblem of them or something like that. There's some other story bits or whatever. I don't remember all the details, but I don't know. I have some thoughts, but yeah, what do you think?
I thought it was cool. I was aware that we got a leak of a Fire Emblem game, didn't pay attention to the leak at all. So this was all new information for me, other than the fact that we got a Fire Emblem game, and that, like, usually it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I like Three Houses, so I'm down to try this now. Like Three Houses, it was like, I don't know if I'm gonna buy this. Now I'm more like, I'll buy it, and hopefully I like it as much, if not more, than the last game.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It's funny. When I first watched the trailer, I kind of had a sense of like, you know what, this looks really good, but I don't know that I need another Fire Emblem right now. Like, my cadence between those is probably further apart than some other games or whatever. But I watched the trailer again this afternoon, and I was way more excited about it for some reason. And so, like, yeah, it looks, I mean, same kind of thing. It all depends on time and resources and stuff of whether I'll play it like straight away or not. But one thing I'll note about this is it looks so much better, just like definitely. Visually or whatever, than like, I really liked the cutscenes in Three Houses. Like, I liked their art style a lot. This is a different art style for the cutscenes, but I also like it a lot. So, who cares about that?
So, I mean, for what it's worth, they kind of, they don't seem to, since like Awakening, at least as far as I know, because it's the first Fire Emblem game that I played, there's not really a style for cutscenes. Like, they jump back and forth, where it's like some of them are like fully like pre-rendered, like animated sequences. Other ones are like in engine, like that sort of thing. So like, I guess that what we're seeing here may be the like in engine equivalent. I wonder if they're going to do like,
could be
fully animated like anime looking.
Yeah. I feel like some of them, like the first half of the trailer, has some stuff that feels, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it looks more similar to the in-engine stuff if it is pre-rendered stuff. So yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. But like even the in-engine stuff, because some of this, like you can definitely tell that it is an engine. And okay, so two thoughts. One,
that's what I'm saying. I feel like everything we saw here was in-engine. Like
could be.
I didn't really see anything that I'm like, oh, they definitely drew this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and like the stuff that is that looks like, almost looks like a next gen leap in some ways for compared to Three Houses. And here's my thought is, I'm wondering if like most Nintendo games moving forward are going to have the FSR
I think it is FSR.
FSR. Yeah. So like the
super something.
Yeah. So that thing, the biggest thing that I noticed throughout the whole trailer, other than just like the colors are really vibrant, which is really nice. And like, there's just some cool stuff. There's like no aliasing or no notable aliasing. Whereas like in Three Houses and some other games, that's like a big thing that kind of, makes it look like, okay, obviously this is a game doing this, as opposed to looking a little bit more like, a TV show or anime or cartoon or whatever, and I'm noticing like very little aliasing, and it's like such a small thing in some ways, but it really does just make a big background difference. And so I'm very excited about that really small thing. All in all,
the only thing that matters
looks
to
really
me
good
in that regard is that it just looks more vibrant. Like games that are colorful is a good thing. Like when BioShock Infinite came out, I was like, oh shoot, a third-party dev realized that there's more colors than brown and gray. That's a W.
Right. Yeah, even though like the battlefields and stuff in this one, like in Three Houses, they were fine, but it was like kind of foresty greens and like browns and that kind of stuff for the most part. And like this has a lot more just nice tones, Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and it comes out January 10th, I believe, which is
January 20th.
20th. That's right. Yep. So there it is. Yeah, Fire Emblem Engage. Is that's one of the ones that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm getting that for sure. Cool. Also, I mean, it's cool that it's in January. That's very close. But beyond that, like, have you seen anything about the protagonists? Like how people are mad and saying that they don't look cool or whatever?
No, I haven't seen any of that.
Like their hair. And I saw like this tweet. I should have saved bookmarked the tweet. But somebody made a tweet where they just made their hair blue. Like they just made them look like a default Fire Emblem character, and they're like, "This is much better,"
Were they being sarcastic in that one, or like
absolutely not? They fully felt like they did a thing where they're like, "I'm a way better character designer than them." Like all they did is made them look like Marth.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you made a fifth Marth. You're proud of yourself for that?
Goodness. Yeah. I mean, it's like, at this point with having characters with, varying hairstyle and stuff, and also especially if they're doing like Fire Emblem Heroes and things where you need to be able to pare the character down to something really small and have notable features,
identifiable. Yeah.
Then like, yeah, you kind of, it's possible that they're running out of like stuff to do in some ways, but like, I think it's fine. Yeah, I just think it's fine. It looks, I'm not like in love with the green, with the blue and red hair, but like it is what it is. I'm not mad about it.
All it is to me is
that's so funny.
Like anime weeby nonsense, and that's what y'all are here for. Like you can't be mad at them for being weebs. You're a weeb. Like it's crazy.
Man. Also, Youth Raid. What's up, everybody? Hello. So yeah, that's Fire Emblem Engage. Oh, the one thing I will say, the name, I'm not a huge fan of the name. Like, it's fine. I don't know that I have to care or anything, but like, I don't know. It doesn't feel very. It's just
high fantasy, high
kind of a word.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, but like, it's not even like I don't even necessarily need it to be high fantasy. It just feels like a non-statement word kind of thing. Like
it feels more like a gamey, like gamer word.
Yes,
whereas
it does.
The other ones are like
awakening and
like either it's
echoes
a mystery
of
box, like what does this mean? You know, why 3 houses? You know, like that sort of thing. Which I mean, I'm indifferent. I like if anything, I rather the name be just because like I rather the name be straightforward than it be like fantasies of Valencia and the ghost of our past. You know, it's like shut up.
Like,
but I don't know. Like the name doesn't seem like it's really like even saying anything about the game mechanics or anything like that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So there it is. Yeah, it's Fire Emblem Engage. Moving along, we got It Takes Two, which is okay. I don't know if. Back when this game first came out, somebody asked Joseph Ferris or somebody else on the development team or something like that, like, oh, well, could it come to Switch maybe? Because like seems like a good place for it, you know, 2 players and all that. And whoever it was, somebody on the development team was like, there is no way this game could run on the Switch. Which is obviously it's running 2 instances of a thing, so I'm sure difficult for sure. But here it is, so it's just funny.
it's such a I hate it. I hate the like software engineerification of the gaming fan base. Like stuff like that works because it allows the gaming fan base to feel like they know what they're talking about. Like they're like, yeah, sure, yes, I too think that the Switch is not, you know, like capable of rendering this video game. You know, like. No, dude. Like, they're just telling you that because it's the quickest way that you will accept that the video game you want on the platform you want is not coming to the platform that you want. You know, like it's plain and simple as that. You know. Yeah. And I think that like on a similar level, like you said earlier, how you feel like a lot of like Switch games are like coming into their stride visually, right? Like on a technical level, like Fire Emblem looks better. Like I'd say, freaking what is it called?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. That game looks better, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And like that's because Nintendo's
Pikmin
developers
4,
give an F. You know, like they care, you know, whereas these other developers are like, I mean, we can't really put this much time into like refining this game and make sure that it runs well on this hardware, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's just do as good of a job as we can to not cut and paste because it's not that easy, obviously, but like cut and paste. You know,
like get it up and running to a point where people aren't going to be mad about it. At least I think is like and then even if it is, get it to a point where people are just barely mad about it, and then patch in a fix for it later. I feel like it's kind of the threshold more often than not, with the exception of like, you know, you get some panic button stuff sometimes. It's the other end of that spectrum, or like Monster Hunter Rise or whatever. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah, there's a lot. I found the quote, by the way. This was from February 9th of last year, so like a year and a half ago. And it was Joseph Ferris, the studio boss, but also he's not, I guess, the like director or whatever. Exactly, yeah, not like the actual like developer, you know, coding kind of stuff. Which, whatever, it is what it is. He said, no, we don't have any plans of bringing it to Switch. Ferris told Gaming Bold. Not sure we can do it, actually. I'm not sure because people forget sometimes we do split screen games with a lot of stuff in it. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. Trust me, it takes a lot of effort to make this work on the old gen consoles because there's so much going on. So I guess he didn't outright say it's impossible, but he definitely suggested he doesn't think it is. You know, but in any case, just fun to see that come full circle. It's an easy
way to get people to stop talking.
Yeah.
Because like,
you're right.
People don't like being wrong. So like for you, like for a developer to be like, you know, it's not going to run. And then for you, someone who is not a developer, but could still have critical thinking skills. You're like, I don't want to question the developer because he probably knows better than me. You know, like, even if it is obvious when you can just use like deduction, you're like, is It Takes Two a more technologically taxing game than Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, right.
You know, you know, like that sort of thing.
And I mean,
like,
a lot of it too, I guess, comes down to like, you know, some games probably couldn't run, maybe also because their engine is just like
right, like
clunky,
that's what
or
it is.
Those kinds of things.
That's
you know,
the
like,
thing. It is like, is it is it feasible for this to happen? Like, it's possible for sure, but like, what would that do to our budget? Will we be effectively remaking this video game? You know, like that sort of thing. But the flat out, like, this game is impossible to run on this platform is like, it's just trite and inaccurate, you know? But to say like, oh, we don't really have the budget for that and blah, you know, like, they're not going to do that. Like,
no, exactly. So, I mean, but yeah, it's coming. It was Ashley and I played, I think, about 2/3 of it probably, and had a fun time. So, like, yeah. Did you played it with Bob once or twice? Is that right?
No, I want to play it with Bob, but maybe this will be the thing. We talked about it a little bit, but there was like no reason to, you know, because by the time that Bob was like, we should play this, it was just like randomly after it came out. And there's no like marketing push for that, you know what I mean? Like, rather than like the game just came out, you know, like that sort of thing. So maybe we'll do it on Switch. Who knows?
Nice.
Or maybe we'll do it and like like on other platforms, but when the Switch version comes out, you know, like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. And it looks muddy or whatever comparatively, but it's not. I don't know that we really care. So
yeah, I don't.
There it is. So yeah, there was that one. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. Don't have anything much to say about that. This is I guess a pre-existing Fatal Frame game. I don't know. Is it a remaster?
So when I was streaming this, I don't actually even know if I like audibly said this, but my first thought was like, every time a game like this in one of these series that I don't play gets announced, I'm like, is this a new game? Or is it is it that? You know, this was that. It was like, I think they straight up said that this is like the first time it was like released in America or something.
They did say that. Yeah.
So I guess that it is either
it looks like it was on the Wii like, originally.
Okay, so this is
I guess a remaster because it looks yeah.
So
yeah, I mean it looks it looks nice. Yeah, nice. I don't care anything about it gameplay wise or anything, but cool, it's there. Skirt past this one. When people say skirt past this one, do they? Is it like skirt?
Like, yeah, I don't know. I never even thought about that.
Me neither until literally just now. Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass wave 2 had some stuff in it. There you go. There it is. SpongeBob SquarePants has a new 3D platformer.
This game's gonna suck, and people are gonna pretend that it's good. Just like the first game. Granted, I don't know. Like, I think this is a new game. I don't think that this is.
I think so. Yeah.
So maybe it will be good, but it doesn't look like it. So
it's got. I mean, it's funny because more games now are taking like. It's got a little glider or whatever, which kind of pulling from like Breath of the Wild, sort of, and yeah. But it's funny because like that's also in Tinykin and all that. So I feel like it's like 3D platformers can kind of get away with way more jank than so many other games because it's like a lot of the games that have existed in like the lineage is kind of jank, and like as long as the moment to moment stuff, there's like fun things to collect here or there. Like the collectathon thing really covers up a lot of weirdness. So
not for me.
I bet it'll be one of those things that's true. Yeah, but I bet people will have fun with that. I know. I know Asher's looking forward to this one. So
yeah, I mean, people like the first remaster despite it being terrible.
And this is what I mean. Ashley saw it, and I mean, granted, we'd just been playing Tinykin, so like that's a 3D platformer as well. So, but Ashley was like, I don't know, that kind of looks fun. Yeah, nice. We'll see. We will see. This next one definitely took me off guard. I don't know if you as well. Fitness Boxing, Fist of the North Star.
I saw this and I was like, oh, we're getting a weeb game. I mean, it's still a weeb game, but like it was very not a normal weeb game. I'm thinking this. I was like, oh, this is about to be like a action RPG or something, and then it cuts immediately to the thing of him doing the dancing.
Like which like. Honestly, so because at some point, so you're doing it's fitness boxing, but with Fist of the North Star, which I guess is a fighting series.
It's an anime. I mean, it's also like a fighting game thing, but
Oh.
I think I'm pretty sure it was originally an anime.
Gotcha. Yeah. So originally a manga, apparently, and then I guess
Same thing.
anime
Yeah.
from there. Yeah, exactly.
Most anime are originally manga.
Yeah, did not realize that. Okay, fun stuff. So yeah, I feel like the second bit, especially where you're doing like combat to like battle guys, like Ring Fit Adventure seems to be rubbing off on some people or some devs,
also,
and that's
fitness
fun.
boxing exists, so
True.
like that
but
was
like,
also
are you
a
ever
known quantity.
beating people up in fitness boxing?
I don't know. Never played it. I just know that
Because like my
some
impression
people
of
do
it
that.
was that fitness boxing was more like the first part of it, where it's like
you're a
jab
punching
with
bag.
a friend,
Yeah.
instead of like have a
Like
like
physically
sort of
fighting
like
somebody?
quasi campaign mode or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just seems like a fun way to like put a skin on a game that they have. I mean, and I'm sure that there's differences to it mechanically, but they just licensed out fitness boxing. They did a licensed version of fitness boxing.
Which like those are all at least fitness boxing 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure are Nintendo published. So I guess this is Nintendo published too, which is funny.
Yep.
So there's that. Oddballers. The
It's
trailer
something-
for Oddballers is not there, and it's a different one instead.
It's
on this
Endless
article.
Dungeon.
Yeah, which I think that one was in the sizzle reel, maybe. But I don't have much to say about either of those, so
Yeah, I don't.
we can skip.
I don't even remember this.
This one, yeah, it was within the what's it called towards the end, the sizzle reel kind of stuff. But I also don't remember much about it. But next up, we got Tunic, which everyone had speculated that it was going to come to Switch at some point.
Yeah, I'm
and
so
it
surprised
is.
it didn't launch on Switch, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like a Microsoft funded thing, like kind of like
Like Cuphead.
yeah, that's the one. Exactly what I was thinking of. I think kind of like Cuphead, where it was like it was an indie game, but then Microsoft kind of took it under their wing, and then they put it out, and then straight
Pass
away as soon as that was done, here it is. When does it come out? September 27th.
Nice.
Yeah, I would like to play this game.
I'd play it.
Yeah, this is probably one of the ones on my like excited about it kind of list.
It's for me. It's like I'm interested. I may or may not buy it depending on what I'm doing around that time. If I'm still like super hooked on Splatoon, maybe not. But if I'm looking for something else to do, I might pick it up.
The thing that I hear that's intriguing for me as well is it's like, it's very much Zelda kind of stuff, but also it's like kind of cryptic in the way that the menus are, or not the menus, but the like the map and stuff. Like there's a lot of secrets that there's hints towards in certain bits, but I don't really know. I can't speak very well on it, but that it just like does the secrets within the game in an interesting way where you can find everything from clues that exist within the game, but as opposed to like Zelda 1 where like you'd have to go around and just burn a tree or whatever and hope that you get the right one. This is like kind of taking that inspiration but doing it right. Is what it sounds like.
Putting design
I like that
cues in the video game.
Exactly.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
The next game, I said jokingly that I was like, Kevin Kenson popped off for this. Like this is his thing. Not even necessarily like the game, like nothing about the gameplay was like, oh, Kevin Kenson probably likes this. It was just the fact that it was like previously not like a thing here, and now it's a thing, and that seems like something that Kevin Kenson's usually excited about. So and funnily enough, after the direct, when he tweeted this was one of the games, he was like, yo, this is hype, and I was like, yep,
nice,
checks out.
That's fun. Yeah, you know him well. Yeah, it looks it looks like a fun time. I feel like if you're starved for strategy RPGs, then this one, but like I feel like at least for me, there's plenty of other strategy RPGs that I'd play before playing this one, but still, I don't know, looks neat,
Yeah, not enough elves in and chalices.
That's right. Come on, man. What is funny though is I'll be interesting to see how this turns out because it's Forever Entertainment that developed it, which they did Panzer Dragoon, which everybody was like, oh, that looks great, and then turned out that nobody liked it. And they did House of the Dead remakes, and everybody was excited about those, and then they didn't turn out well. So do we see a repeat of that? Does this one, like, do they finally stick the landing on this one? We'll see.
We shall see.
And after that, the saga begins.
Favorite, dude. Legitimately, I might play this. Actually,
yeah.
Truly.
This one's a remaster, or a remake of a GameCube game, right?
It's a remake at home, dude. Like it's we have Kingdom Hearts. I mean, I don't know why I keep calling Harvest Moon Kingdom Hearts. I don't know why that like name association is in my head, but I did it multiple times during the direct itself. But we have Harvest Moon at home. But like apparently the Story of Seasons is like the original people that made it, and there was the licensing thing. But like licensing and marketing works, man. So like it still feels like it's Harvest Moon at home. But this is the one that like this was the first Harvest Moon game that I played, and I really liked this game a lot. I talked about it before. It was like my brother, like he hit me up and was like, "Yo, I want to play Harvest Moon. Is there any new Harvest Moons?" And I was like, "They're like cringe now because like they're these and these ones look a lot more like generic and that sort of thing." I was like, "Just play Stardew Valley," and then he was like, "I don't want to do that." So then he just bought the PlayStation 4 version of the original one of this game. But this is this
interesting.
Game, but new. So like, might gotta do it. Might gotta do it.
Yeah. This also the trailer that is on this in this article is different from the one that played in the direct, and I want to say some of it kind of looks better than that. I don't know. Maybe it's not that different. But the only thing that like most of it looks like pretty nice, like aesthetically pleasing and all that. The only thing is like anytime there's a lot of grass going around, that like frame rate drops so much, it looks like. But this trailer doesn't seem to be doing that, so that's good. Maybe it was just the direct footage that did something.
That happens
hopefully that's not an issue in the long run. But yeah, that's I wonder if Ashley would be interested in this one too. I think I actually have the GameCube game of this.
It's a good game,
and just haven't played
and
it.
I'm not even I mean, you know the types of games that I tend to play. I'm not generally a like simulation like person. But this game's pretty fun. It's a fun game.
Nice. Coming 2023. And honestly, again, art style looks nice, which is just always good, especially for remakes of things where like, I don't know, that always sucks if there's a game that you really like and then they remake it and it looks worse than, like you get used to the original artwork.
I think that like art direction wise, like not like the nuts and bolts of like resolution and that. I think this I don't like this style as much. It feels very Story of Seasons, which in my head, in my opinion, is like more generic than the Harvest Moon games have looked in the past. Until like towards the end, like there was like one on the Wii. And that game looked pretty generic. But the like GameCube, Game Boy, N64, like those, I feel like they looked more unique in their style. But I mean, the character, like you can definitely tell like, oh, this character is that character from the video game. Like they still look the same, but it's like Pikachu now versus Pikachu and like the Pokemon anime in like the first season, like that sort of thing. Yeah. Or even more than that, it's like the Pikachu that they use in like marketing. Like it's like that Pikachu compared to the original Pikachu, because like the Pikachu even that they use in the anime is different from like the marketing Pikachu. A lot of times the marketing Pikachu is like super rounded, like very different. This is what that feels like. It feels like the marketing Pikachu equivalent of Harvest Moon.
Which is a sentence everyone's saying this week, honestly.
It's true. It's a fact. I stole it from somebody. I did.
Yeah, that's right. So nice. Yeah, so that's count number 1 on the farming sim stuff. But looks good. Next up, we got the next Splatfest announced, which, what date did it say? I don't remember. September 27th?
I think so.
No.
I think it's that.
September 23rd, earlier than I thought.
This month.
So, yeah. Okay, so I will be, I need to figure out something for next podcast because I'm going to be at the beach. So,
Okay.
either we do it early or we get a guest, or who's to say?
It would probably be easier to do it early.
Perfect.
But I mean, we could look into all those options.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's next week. And the options are, if you were on a deserted island, would you bring gear, grub, or fun? Are you going to spoil what you would choose already?
Yeah, I mentioned this in the stream. The other options seem dumb to me. Because, like, I'm trying to get off the island. Like, give me gear so I can dip. I'm not trying to stay here. What? I want to go home.
And also, like, if you give a man a fish, or like, if you, even if you had other things on there, like you can make your own fun. If you're on a deserted island, you'll find a Wilson eventually.
It's true.
Like, just get some gear so that you can stay not dead.
Facts. Like, if I got gear, I can get food for sure. And I'm not really worried about fun because I'm trying to go home. I want to leave. I'll have fun when I get home.
And honestly, you'll have a more memorable experience just doing any of the stuff that you do than like playing cards on the beach.
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, I'm definitely gear for this meet too. So there you go. Yeah. Next up, HD 2D, the game.
Yeah, it's
Octopath Traveler 2.
The origin. It's here. I mean, for what it's worth, this is another game that I'm like, in any other context, if this Nintendo Direct was 20 minutes shorter and the games that people are complaining about didn't exist, people would say off the back of this game, being one of them, that it's the best Direct to ever happen. Because people really like this game. And we got a second one. So.
Yep. And like, I didn't have nearly as many issues with the first one as a lot of people did. And like, I get the issues that people had, which is, some of these, it was like in learning about the things they fixed in this one, like the characters will talk to each other and interact in various ways or whatever. I remember noticing and kind of being like, yeah, it kind of be weird that when you go to a story thing, you got 4 of you and only one of the people is talking to I don't know, like I could see how that sort of thing is weird, but at the same time, it just like, as soon as it wasn't a thing, I just didn't care anymore. Cause it's like, it's not going to continue bothering me. Cause like, what's the point? And then there's some other bits and pieces of things that are different about it that like are things that have been fixed, but for me weren't particularly issues. So, great for everybody for who those were issues, but it just looks like kind of more of the same, but good.
Yeah, I don't care, but it's a W announcement because it's a game that sold well and people liked it. So
yep, I am curious what all stuff is new. So like, I think one new thing is that now I'm trying to look for it in this trailer, but I'm not finding it. I think there's like, before the thief, for example, would have, his thief abilities, blah, 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 whatever. And now there's like daytime and nighttime versions of that. I don't remember don't know if I'm understanding that correctly now. B, don't remember if that was a thing in the other one or not. I think it wasn't. I want to say that's new this time. Alex said, yes, Parker, that is new. Cool. I understood correctly. So that's neat. Then the intertwining stories thing, and in some of the battle cutscene or some of the battle footage, it seemed like there might have been a new, like, something or other going on, and like a new little emblem or something like that. So I don't know. Just curious to find out more about those kinds of things. But again, looks good. Last thing. I did like in the aftermath, I saw somebody say it would be nice if this didn't have fully random encounters, like kind of like more like Bravely Default or whatever. Yeah. And I will say, I'm definitely, I'm there these days. Like turn-based combat, I'm here for it. But like random encounters itself is a little bit annoying to be like, man, I just want to beeline it to this other place. And I don't feel like fighting things right now because I'm on some different mission. it would be nice to just be able to like avoid enemies for a little bit and like, grind if you want to grind, but like don't if you don't. Or the ability to set the frequency. Yes, that also works. So there it is. Next up, farming sim number 2, Fae Farm. This was the one that Ashley specifically was excited about. It doesn't come out till spring next year, and she was disappointed about that. But you know what? It'll happen when it happens.
That was
and maybe she'll still care then. Maybe
wild
not.
flip I've ever seen anybody do.
What do you mean?
I have the Fae Farm trailer up.
Oh,
he like jumped forward off of the cliff and then backflipped. Like what? Why didn't you backflip off the cliff?
I'm gonna go watch it right now. I see it. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
I mean, the farming sim. Is this 4 players or something?
It is, yeah. So that's an interesting thing. I think it's online as well. I think probably Ashley mostly just liked the art style and stuff too, which is like kind of chibi sort of, which is funny because she really did not like Bravely I mean, it's different from Bravely Default, but she did not like the art style in that, which was chibi. So, but yeah, it's 4 players. So I don't know how that all works functionally, but obviously they do.
They got
hopefully it turns out
going
good.
on in this game. Looks like freaking Beauty and the Beast just happened, but you're fighting.
Yeah, man. So there it is, Fae Farm.
I'm not going to play it, but
yeah,
cool.
I will be playing it if Ashley's playing it.
True. I do think the co-op and whatnot is neat. That's pretty cool.
I think the only thing I hope is for each of those things that it's not like, yes, it has all of that all in co-op, but none of it is good.
Yeah,
that feels possible.
Granted, I mean, I don't know if that really exists. Like if a game is fun, right, and you can play it with other people, it will be more fun.
It's going to be more fun. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But like if the game's bad, it will be bad. The only time that like co-op kind of gets in the way is like Mario, because in Mario, unless which even that there's asterisks. If you're playing with other people that are like on a similar skill level to you, it would be fun. If you're playing with people that are not as good as you, but you're not really taking it seriously and everybody's just being dumb and trying to like off each other and stuff, it would be fun. But like if you're trying to play it seriously, or not even like, I don't even necessarily mean like sweating. I just mean like I'm trying to beat the game, and you're playing with somebody that's worse than you, it's less fun.
Yeah. At that point, like weakest link kind of drags down the whole team kind of thing.
Yep. But this sort of thing, it's like if you have fun with the game, it will be more fun with people. Unless the game doesn't let you do anything with other people, but it looks like this game is like designed around the co-op from what the trailer
seems like it
showed. So that's a W.
Good
cool
stuff.
For people that like that game.
The next one, I don't care about it all, but there it is. Theater Rhythm Final Barline. It's a rhythm game from Square Enix with a million thousand Square Enix songs.
I think this is I don't know. I think it's the second one. It might be later than that, but there is one on the 3DS, and that's all I know is that this series started on the 3DS.
Yep. Alec confirmed this is the second one.
Okay, there we go.
How well was that one reviewed, I wonder?
I think people liked it. Seemed like a game people liked.
Reception, 78. So like,
that's pretty. That's decent.
Reasonable.
That's pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not for me, but I mean, again, this is another game that me like seeing this. Just knowing the way that people received the original. I don't know why people aren't popping off for this direct, because it's another one that's like a new entry in a series that people enjoyed, and that's pretty good.
I think the tricky thing for me is with rhythm games, not knowing. Well, I feel like there's just such a wide range of quality and I can't always judge it based off of the trailer or whatever. So like actually rewatching the trailer now, because I wasn't watching in quite as much detail before, but this seems more intricate or whatever, then like, I don't know how Melody of Memories went over the Kingdom Hearts one.
Yeah.
If that was kind of just like, it's, it's fine. But like people love, whatever that, Hatsune Miku and all that. And like that stuff gets pretty complicated. And so it's fun because of that. But like, this feels like with the number of songs that it has and the, everything behind it, and even just looking at it, feels like it'll be complicated enough.
Right.
To
and also
be
again,
fun.
like I said, people already like the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I think that says enough about like how like engaging the game is, because people liked it, and this is just more of that. Or, maybe they changed mechanics and stuff like that and made it even better. But it doesn't seem like they like made it, or it's not something that we necessarily had to be like, where's the gameplay? Like, is the gameplay good? It's like the people that played this know whether they like it or not. And I mean, if you like Final Fantasy songs and you're down to play a rhythm game, that's mad songs. It's like 385 songs or something like that. That's crazy.
Yep. And like Alex said too, like lots of DLC, and truly it's like as many songs in the DLC as there is in the base game or something like that.
That's
it's like
crazy. That's a lot of content.
Yeah. Many content. So there it is. Good job, everybody. Next up was Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which we've seen a lot of times. So nothing new to say there.
Didn't somebody say something about Rosalina being the bad guy potentially or something?
Maybe so. I was busy wrangling my daughter, I think, during this one, because I let myself tune out because I was like, all right, cool. I know about this.
I too would tune out for this, but for a different reason. I do not
there you go.
care about this.
Yeah.
But again, it's another game that I would file in the W, but granted, not in this direct specifically, because we do know about it. So like,
right. Yeah.
But is a game that people are excited for, which is cool.
Yeah. And it looks nice, and that's always a fun thing too. So look at that. Yep. Next up, number 3 on our count of farming sims, Rune Factory 3 Special, which I'm sure looks better than the original, like it's remastered and all that stuff.
Yep. But
I will say the farming bits of it specifically I feel like they could have done something there, because those it looks like a Flash game for the farming part. Everything else looks like, cool, kind of pretty, nice little art style or whatever. But the farming bits look like a Flash game.
This part was crazy. Like how they talked about that.
Which part are you talking about?
The romance. They're like, it's extra romance bits. Like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, I mean, hearing the like farm sim criticism is like fine, but I think that Rune Factory and Harvest Moon are kind of exempt from that, because they're like pre-existing franchises that we know a lot of people like, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I think
for sure
that people that are not into these series are seeing them as like lumped in with like Fae Farm or whatever, and I think that that's dumb, because that's no different from a Sony presentation where they reveal God of War and then also freaking Horizon, like both over the shoulder third person game, but like people like those, so it's easy to understand that like I'm popping off for this. But like, since this is more of a niche, people like, they don't put those through lines together. They're not putting A and B together, where it's like, if I like this this genre, I would be hype about these two games, but I mean, since I don't,
additionally, with like this one specifically feels like a game that's catering more towards people who have already played it and want to play it on the Switch now, as opposed to other things, because otherwise they would have done more work for it or something. I don't know, but like, it is what it is, and like the gameplay's there, and I'm sure it looks nicer. No, so I feel that.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I've heard Rune Factory 4 is like the pinnacle of this series, so I'm actually going to look into that one and see if that would be something that would be fun for Ashley, but we'll see. And then they announced that a new series is in development. I wonder if that means,
what the heck does
what do you call a new series? Like, is that a spin-off thing, or is it just like a new entry, but they said series for some reason? Weird.
It sounds like it's a spinoff, but like I don't really understand the Rune Factory universe. so I don't know.
Yeah. So there's that. And next up, we suspected that we'd probably get Nintendo Switch Online something or other, and we did. But we did not get Game Boy or anything.
They over-delivered in the N64 category, though. I'll say that because with Mario Party, we're like, there's probably a chance that we'll get something. You know, we got 1, 2, and 3, which was Pog, and then even more than that, Pokemon Stadium. Because that was something that we were like, maybe we'll get one of them, you know, like, that'd be cool. Like, it's not necessary.
I think we put the first one on our list, but we did not put the second one on our list.
We barely thought that we would get Pokemon Stadium, but we got both of them. So that's pretty cool.
It is kind of weird to me that they have the Mario Parties 1, 2, and 3 coming out sequentially. Like, that feels like, I don't know, pace yourselves, guys. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. So that's fine. But yeah, totally. That having Pokemon Stadium 2, that's one I barely played that one at all. I played Pokemon Stadium 1 a lot with some friends.
I mean, I played both of them because I'm me. Yeah. But I like Pokemon Stadium 2 because more content. Because more Pokemon. But also the mini games are good. The mini games are good in both of them.
They are.
You can't say that. You didn't play the second one.
Well, that's true. Yes, you're right. I played the second one like twice, so that's that's about it. But yeah, I just meant in general the mini games are good, I know. They.
I just messing with you. The only mini game that I can remember off the top of my head, and the second one though, is the Hitmontop one.
Interesting.
Pretty cool.
I remember a Chansey one. I think.
Is the Chansey one not in the first game?
There's a Lickitung one and a Clefairy one.
Clefairy, there's the Metapod, Drowsy.
Magikarp Jump.
Magikarp, Magikarp.
The Ekans and Diglett one. Rattata or Rattata or whatever. Yeah. And that might
I don't remember the second game though. I just remember the Hitmontop. I remember Hitmontop, and that's it. So I'm excited to play those. I'll definitely be streaming those video games.
Yeah, the mini games from Pokemon Stadium currently is the opening segment of a script that I'm working on, but might not stay the opening segment. We'll see how that works. But yeah, they were impactful, I'd say, and that's fun. Yeah, but yeah, otherwise we didn't. Sorry, yes, go ahead.
We didn't mention the one that they used as the hype one, and that's because this game sucks. And everybody will see when it comes to the Nintendo Switch system and also Xbox Game Pass. This game is terrible. It would probably be less terrible on the Xbox, ironically enough. But you won't be able to play it with your friends unless you live with them or live near them, because no online play on the Xbox, and there's online play on the Switch, but it doesn't have dual analog support. So
that's going to be a rude awakening, I feel like, for 99% of people. Like, plenty of people have gone back and played it, and it's like, I mean, it's like a Mario 64 situation where I know like how the thing works, so it's fine. This game hasn't been released a million times, and so people don't have they just have the nostalgia for it and not the like reality check yet, and like, so that's coming
like the game
in one fell swoop.
I like recently saw like a micro version of this where my brother is working on a man cave, like wants to get all the old games and whatnot, and he booted up GoldenEye one time. Haven't seen him play it since. Game sucks. It's a bad game. Like, the game's not good.
Yeah, man. I've only honestly played it, like, think twice. I played some of the single player once at a friend's house as a kid, and then played the multiplayer like once later. I mean, obviously I wasn't good at it. It's not my kind of game anyway, but yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. It's fun to see this discourse get to have a next stage, like post speculation stage into now now it's happening, and like there's the preliminary this week or next 2 weeks or whatever before it actually comes out, because we don't have a date for it, I don't think, but I'm guessing this is the September game and it's going to come out probably next weekend or next Friday or something, but maybe not. But then we'll get to see how the discourse goes.
We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, the other games were Excite Bike 64, 1080 snowboarding, which both of those I was excited about because like I'm very familiar with 1080 Avalanche, but I've only played 1080 snowboarding on the N64 like once. So we'll be curious to play that one a little bit.
Announced that are just straight up not accounted for on our list.
Pokemon Stadium 2,
yeah, other than
that's
that.
it.
So everything,
everything
we
else
even had all 3 of the Mario parties.
We did. Well, because the alphabet prohibited anything else. Because before it was Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Tennis, and there were 3 slots. And that's the only one alphabetically that fixed.
It's pretty cringe.
I know, seriously. And like, I mean, I guess at this point, maybe that's one that they're going to save for like
it'll be like the GoldenEye slot.
Exactly.
Which is cringe, and I hate that.
Yeah.
It makes me angry.
So... yeah, but I mean, honestly, we're already kind of like filling out most of our list at this point.
Like that's how they do it. They're like, yo,
that'd be awesome.
Like, there's online multiplayer, obviously, but also there's random matchmaking. Like, I will not be playing that.
So yeah, the ones I'll be excited to try Pilot Wings 64 for the first time. I've never played a Pilot Wings game, period. So that'll be interesting.
It's fine. It's good.
And Excite Bike 64 I played once at a friend's house, and so I'll check it out and we'll go from there. But yeah. And so less again, kind of was expecting maybe Game Boy stuff to show up this year. Like, makes sense in retrospect, fine. I mean, I guess that it didn't. Like, this getting what we did made sense, but still I'm like, where's Game Boy, you know?
Yeah.
It's fine. It'll happen when it happens.
This feels like a Metroid Prime situation, though.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like it's like people like tapping the sign for the game that they never said, or the thing that they never said is happening. You know, like we know that it'll probably come eventually, but we're like acting like it's already been promised to us.
Right? Yeah. No, I mean, and you know, what if they decide whenever Pokemon Stadium comes out is when Game Boy games come out and they just throw Pokemon up there?
I mean, they did say in the like there's something in there about how like you can't transfer or whatever. But like, I don't know, they've patched them before. So maybe if we do get Game Boy, that's the way that they like incentivize it. And they're like, yo, if you didn't already do it, here's the Game Boy games on the expansion pack. And also there's synergy because the expansion pack can talk to the expansion pack, you know.
That'd be nice.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Will I play through Gen 1 again and Gen 2 again to put Pokemon in Pokemon Stadium? Probably not.
Honestly, Gen 2 is the one I've played through Gen 1 way more times, way more recently than played back through Gen 2. So that's the one that I'd be more interested in playing through.
Newsflash,
right
both
now.
of them are bad.
But the nostalgia, man.
Gen 2
it's a fun old time.
Gen 2 is cool in concept. Because 2 regions, but for that, just play Heart Gold. That's Gen 4. The only good Gen 4 game. That turns out. I mean, Platinum, sorry. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
exactly. But
so that's the NSO stuff.
The most sarcastic version of it's good.
Yeah.
Because Sinnoh is still bad.
Yeah. Next up was not a farming sim, but kind of a farming sim.
Not a farming sim.
But not a farming sim. I honestly, I need to like get a better understanding of what's going on in this game, because they were like 100 or more daily activities and stuff, and like, what if there's no farming? Like, what are the daily activities? There are other things you're able to do, but like, is it mostly an RPG? Is it mostly a sim game? Like, I don't really know. But Very Stay Life. There it is.
That's such a stupid name. I saw. I'm looking at the trailer for you. People watching the video version, you already know. But I saw that like title screen thing, and I was like, that can't be a trailer. And then I like moved the mouse so I could see the YouTube title. I'm like, that's such a stupid title. I hate Square Enix for that, man. I hate them.
Yeah, ever since Final Fantasy, and they were like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can name games.
I mean, that one at least, like, you know, Final Fantasy's fine as a name.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
now
it was fun. It was a good name the first time they did it. But now we're 16 games in. 16 entries in. You know, it's like it's not a whole lot of finality to this, Dan.
Yeah. Man, is it called Project Various Day Life? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Because Mark just said should have been Project Various Day Life before just removing project.
True. Facts.
But yeah, I mean, it does say from the producers of Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy. So it's the same. Okay. It's Team Asano. I didn't notice that the first time. So that does make me more interested in it. But yeah, something about the way that the marketing is a bit confusing, at least. So I'll go back and rewatch the trailer for this one, see what happens.
You mean to tell me you think the game titled Various Day Life has confusing marketing? Would have never expected that. Would have never expected that.
They got to keep you on your toes, man. Next up was Factorio, and this is one I actually like. I don't know. It for some reason watching it.
I've heard good things about this video game. I mean, not good things in the sense that like nobody has told me to play this game because this is a very not me game. But I know that the people that play this game like this game. And it didn't even like click for me when I was watching this that it was Factorio because like I've just heard the name. I've never seen gameplay.
Yeah.
So like. That's a W. It's another like portive game that people like on other platforms, which is pretty cool.
Honestly, it kind of like I'm sure this is not a what's it called, like a rave review kind of a thing, but like it makes me think that if somebody likes Clash of Clans, they would like this, which is like kind of silly, but like in that you're like building things and like making a whole, you know, whatever. But the annoying thing with Clash of Clans was at some point the game, like I played it a long time ago, like 7 or 8 years ago or something. And at some point, whenever like other people raid your clan, you like lose more than you'd be making in a day or whatever. Like it gets to a tipping point basically where they want you to
spend money.
To spend money.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's good and fun up until that point, but then at a certain point it just becomes frustrating because like if you don't spend money, then you're having a worse time. So this feels like, you know, probably the benefits of that without the like, and now you have to spend money, but like having fun parts. And yeah, also reminds me a little bit, like I enjoyed playing Loop Hero a little bit, which there's some aspects of that feel similar. It looks fun. Like it seems like the kind of thing that shouldn't be fun, but probably is.
That sounds like that's your jam.
Yeah, that's me.
You like stuff like that. Me?
And
I'm a pass, but I'm happy for you though.
Checks out. I'm gonna pass on the next game. Is this LB or IB or IB or OLB?
IB.
Pound?
It's IB. Because my friend Ebe was in the chat. I was like, that's almost your name.
Nice. Looks kind of creepy. I'm sure that's the intention. There it is. That's my thoughts on it.
That's the game. Sketchbook. Looks like a kid's drawing. Yep. And that's the game. Super short trailer.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. And speaking of, I don't care. Continue.
No, I was just gonna say it's like, just feels eerie, and that's about it. But yeah, speaking of eerie, Mario Strikers League. I mean, second update to Mario Strikers Battle League, which you're very excited about. I can tell.
Yeah. See, if I like this game, or I like the game, if this game was playable with my friends online, I would pop off for this because I like Pauline. She's cool. I like Diddy Kong. He's cool. I would play both of these characters. They would both join my roster for sure. But I cannot play this game with my friends, so I don't care.
Yeah. I honestly kind of was expecting them, like when they first started this, to say like, "Anne's down the road," like make the updates. You know, I feel like until they do that, it's
a moot point.
Not going to go great.
Yeah, it's like I can't play this game, no matter how much I would like the content you're adding. the most important part of the game is not accounted for. So
Yeah. And it's too complicated to be a party game. You know, like at least with Mario Golf and Mario Tennis or whatever, you could expect somebody to like kind of pick it up, sort of figure it out, and like do the swing mode or whatever.
I don't necessarily think it's too complicated. I think that it's similar to most. I think most of the party games are like this. I think most of them are like this. Like even Mario Kart is like this, where it has a lot of depth. That if you're playing it as a party game, you don't know that. Smash Brothers, it has a lot of depth, but if you're playing it as a party game, you don't know that. Like every Mario sports game that is multiplayer oriented to this day is like that. That's why, like before this game came out, there was a competitive scene for the GameCube
totally
version.
Yeah. I think they all have lots of depth. I think the problem with this one is it has a higher barrier of entry compared to like you could do the like motion controls golf in Mario Golf, or do like something where like your mom could play it, you know, that kind of a party game sort of thing, or like kids playing it or that kind of, I mean obviously kids can play this too. Kids could be very good at video games.
I think that like if it's 8 people and they're all like casuals, they will have fun with this game.
Yes, that's true.
It's just that there's
they'll have to be on 4 switches though, isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly. The skill floor, I would say, is very low, because all you have to know how to do is kick the ball into the goal, and that's all you need to know. But if somebody that you're playing against knows more than that, that's when it becomes prohibitive. And I think that's just generally the case. Is what I was trying to say.
And I guess I'm thinking too, like I guess even when I say party game, I'm more like a friend comes over and we're playing, you know, less of a party, more of like, because I think for me, the managing multiple people on a team, granted, I haven't played any FIFA games or anything like that, so I might have less experience in that realm even than most other casual people. I don't know, but like managing the like having 4 people on my team kind of bit, I was not very good at. And so like I feel like if I, as somebody who like, you know, knows how to play games in general, had a hard time getting used to the like lowest, easiest stuff, than somebody who like doesn't know anything about it would also have a hard time. But you're right. Yeah. If you can do it where you can have multiple people on a team and stuff, then I feel like you're totally fine there. Also, but then there's the technical limitations. So
what I'll also say on to your point is like, that's part of the party game part. Like if you don't know what you're doing in that regard, that's fun. You know, like everybody, if not everybody's sweating and trying to be the best person in the room, that adds a fun little element of like, oh shoot, I didn't mean to pass to you. Oh crap, score the ball. You know, like that sort of thing. Like that can be fun. So like I do think that it could be a decent party game if you have the means, you know, like if you have the 4 switches, you know, and the friends that also own the video game, it's a fun game.
Exactly, because 4 copies, right?
Exactly,
you all need to own it. That's it's just like there's just so many little barriers of entry that like it could be perfect in any of the realms, like, and just doesn't. Yeah,
it's just tough. Like this game could have been so cool, because again, I like the game a lot. The gameplay of the game is very fun, but they don't make it easy to play the game and experience.
And okay, do you need 4 switches, or can you play 4 players on one console?
You need 4 switches.
For online only or for local? Like, can you do 4 players?
So I think you need 2 switches to play local.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I think 4 people.
So it's not as bad.
Switch, I think. I don't know.
If not, that's insane. If you can't actually like, because I think
you can
Mario
play
Strikers.
Local. Can you play 8-player? Does that mean locally on one Switch? Because local can also mean more than one Switch.
True. I wonder if it's like if you have to use, I think if you play 8 players on a Switch game at all, you have to use Joy-Cons on their side, because I think it'll only connect. Or
I think
maybe you can do 8 Pro controllers, but just not 8 sets of Joy-Cons.
I don't think you could do 8 Pro controllers. I think you can do 4 Pro controllers, but you can do like 4 Pro controllers, and then if this game supports it, GameCube controllers with the adapter thingy. But I don't think that the Switch will recognize 4 Pro controllers at the same time.
Yeah. Interesting. Man, what a mess. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
What a time. All right, moving along. We'll go through some of these a little bit quicker, I guess, the ones that we don't care about, because there's a lot left. But Atelier Rise of 3, JRPG kind of stuff.
Yeah, don't
Neato
care.
Burrito.
Don't care.
Yeah, it's there. It's one of those where it's like, if I didn't have other games to play, like, yeah, that could be interesting. But I got other games I would play instead. So glad that it's there for people. Okay, this one I am a little bit excited about. Wave 3 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass.
Yep.
One specific thing that excited me in this was in this. So they show 2 of the courses that are coming in the next wave. And Peach Gardens, I think, is a cool one. So glad about that anyway. But at 34 seconds in to the trailer, you see Mario go up a ramp and come back down. And that was something that was in the Wii version and hasn't been in any Mario Kart 8 courses, is like having, not like a half pipe kind of thing. And
yeah,
it's back.
I see. I just saw it. It just happened on the screen.
So that right there, I am happy about, because that probably means that some other levels like DK Summit, for example, I think that's the one I'm thinking of, the one from the Wii, whichever one that one is. DK Summit has ramps like that, and I like that level, and I'd like that level to come back. But if it didn't have the ramps, I wouldn't want that level to come back, because it would be stupid. So yeah, that's it.
I have a love-hate relationship with these, because I don't want to play this game, but I'm going to play it. So it's the closest that this gets to like putting on the uniform and clocking in. Like, it's going to work when Mario Kart waves come out. Like,
yeah, makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
I thankfully like it.
Yeah.
But I get that for sure. Next up, more Nintendo stuff. Nintendo Switch Sports Golf is coming, but it's delayed a little bit.
Freaking sold, dude. Like, if this game was easier to play with people the way that you want to play it with people, Wii Sports, I mean, Nintendo Switch Sports would have been a W. But
I don't know the details about this one as much. What's the thing that makes it hard to play with other people in this case?
So most of the games you can't play like just by the nature of the game, you know, like you can't play freaking 8-player sword fight, you know,
right?
But the games like volleyball, for instance, right, where it's 2 people on a team, you can't have 2 people and then play against 2 random people. You have to have a room of 4. So it's like, to play with people, you have to like specifically be in a like it's not like an easy like community game. It's not something that I could stream because like we would just be playing soccer or bowling, and that's it.
Bowling, yeah.
Which is not fun.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Only have 2 of the games. And I think that like at least if they did at least that, where like for instance, me and Trav, we're about to sweat at volleyball, man. We're about to be freaking esports, man. But can't, because the only way that you could play together is if you play with 4 people, not 2 people against the world. Which is an L. Which, I mean, golf, for what it's worth, is like immune to this particular criticism, because it would be the third game. You know, it would be bowling or golf or soccer, you know. But like,
yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna keep selling, which will be interesting to see how that keeps going.
It's frustrating because it's like Switch Sports and Mario Strikers are both, like, gameplay wise, great. I love them. They're really fun. But the experience of playing the game, everything around that is not good. Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know, again, I guess for the most part, at least for this one, the local experience is probably fine. But you don't get all the like outfit costumes and stuff like that without doing the online stuff. So that's a bit of a shame. So it's like, still just like not, it's just monkey's paw situation all over again. Which, rough. But nevertheless, golf looks fun, and it looks like they're bringing the stuff. I mean, basically, it's Super Rush, kind of. Like, not quite, but a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. But it's coming in the holiday instead of sooner than the holiday. I think fall it was supposed to be originally.
Yeah.
So there it is.
I wish I could care. But I could not.
Yep. So Miyamoto came on, and he did not talk about the Mario movie. He did talk about Pikmin Bloom for an eternity.
Yeah, it's true.
So long. Also, okay, so I was watching this with Ashley, and Ezra was there, and I had said ahead of time, I was like, hey, it would be great. Like, I waited so that we could watch it together because I also had a meeting. So like, she and Ezra were in the car and then came back, and then blah blah blah. And I was like, I'd love to try to not pause too many times because I want to try to watch it, you know, get the pacing and all that stuff.
Right.
And then inevitably, you know, we have a 1.5-year-old, so we paused a lot. That's how it goes. And so right as Miyamoto came on, I was like, I don't know, I think I should just go ahead and put her down for a nap. And he had just started talking about Pikmin Bloom, and I just started. Or actually, I think he just said Pikmin. He hadn't even started talking about Pikmin Bloom yet. So I told Ashley a little bit about, like, yeah, so Pikmin 4, blah, 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 like disappeared forever ago. Or like they, you know, briefly gave her kind of the rundown, and then went up and put Ezra down, and then came back down and was like, all right, I guess we're about to find out about Pikmin 4. And then he kept talking and then started showing Pikmin Bloom, and like having the 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever to ruminate on like probably Pikmin 4, and then Pikmin Bloom for like 3.5 minutes.
Imagine
like,
he didn't announce Pikmin 4. Imagine.
Exactly. Not that like I don't have that many stakes in it, but it was just like
it just would have been
Yes.
hell on earth. Like the discourse would have been terrible.
So bad. Yeah. I still don't know why we talked about Pikmin Bloom as long as we did anyway, even with Pikmin 4, but
to get people
whatever.
to play Pikmin Bloom, dude.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But
like
eventually
Pikmin Bloom was not like it's positioned, like the way that they positioned this in terms of like marketing strategy was like Pikmin Bloom was the gateway for Pikmin 4. But in reality, for the people watching this, it is reversed. You know, it's like I guess I'll play Pikmin Bloom because I like Pikmin, and Pikmin 4 is not happening, you know. But they positioned it like, hey, Pikmin Bloom fans, we're working on Pikmin 4, you know? Like, it's like, all right, man.
Which is so funny. Yeah. But yeah, they eventually showed off Pikmin 4. And I mean, thought number one is, yet again, man, this game so pretty. Like, it'll be interesting by the end of the Switch lifespan to do a like just like best looking games on the Switch or whatever. And I don't know that this one can't be in the top 3. You know, like I feel like basically Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and this will probably be, you know, towards, I mean, maybe Metroid Prime something as well, and blah, blah, but like this game just looks so nice. And just a fun little time. Yeah. What about you? What are thoughts?
I think the game looks good. This is another game that I am playing for sure.
Yep.
Freaking can't wait. It's pretty cool.
Yep. I'm curious to find out more about it. He mentioned things. So this one, okay. I'm pretty sure video will be out for patrons tomorrow and then up on Monday. I wanted to get it out for patrons yesterday and live and YouTube tomorrow, which is Friday, which would have been yesterday for anybody listening back. But that didn't happen. So I think video's out.
I'm making a tweet for the giveaway, or are you making a tweet for the giveaway?
I don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
To do the do it through a spreadsheet instead of Gleam this time, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
So
I'm good with whatever we're
doing a giveaway again, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There it is. But yeah, so that video will be out. But all that to say, I talk a little bit about Pikmin 4 in that video amongst several other things. And I'm excited about this video. It was a fun one to work on. It's not done yet, but but it will be. So yeah, just looks really good. There it is, Pikmin 4. It's just crazy that it's like it's finally out. Like after, you know,
yes,
after all this time and things. Like
that was the other thing that I was like, yeah, I mean, Pikmin 4. You've been freaking begging for this game for years. For years. And we're going to act like the fact that they finally announced it doesn't make this one of the better directs. You know, like, that's crazy to me. Like, y'all are grasping at straws to be angry. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. And like, obviously Pikmin 3 Deluxe coming out when it did, like it would be cool now to eventually see Pikmin 1 and 2 be over here too, just to like have the whole thing represented and whatever. And like, you know, I think by the end of the Switch and the Switch successor, whatever that ends up being, like probably most like important Nintendo games will be playable in some form or fashion, whether like remasters, ports, on the online service, whatever. Like, I think most games will be accounted for somewhere, even if it's not the best version of any of those, with the exception of games like, I don't know, probably the older Mario Strikers or something like that. Maybe that won't show up somewhere, just
like
because
when there's like a clear stand-in for the game. Like,
exactly,
not a this is a very specific story and like that sort of thing. It's like, it's a Smash Brothers where mechanically that's really the only thing that you're looking for, is like new mechanics and stuff. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So there it is. Next up, Just Dance 2023. Cool.
You know,
there
most hype game of all time. Never would have thought that we'd get this.
Nope.
Next.
Insane. Next, Harvestella.
Do we already know that this exists?
We know so much about this already. There's a demo out now.
This game's a sin because it's stopping Alec from playing the video game with his friends, potentially. Because we got the whole freaking trainer's dream, man. It's going to be, well, I'm probably going to play this game with a lot of people, but the day zero experience will be, well, for what it's worth, Alec won't be part of day zero because Alec is waiting for it until, like, so he can get the physical game with him and Red, and they will play the game. But me, Trev, Youth, and Alec were planning to play this video game together.
I didn't realize there was, I mean, I just missed this part of the trailer, I guess, but that there's online stuff in Harvestella.
Yeah, I guess.
Interesting.
But this game's a sin because Alec is also getting this game and excited for this game. Is probably going to leave his friends high and dry for this game, and he won't even commit to saying he's more excited for Pokemon than he is this game. That's crazy. That's messed up,
man. I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit in the games we're playing, but I downloaded the demo. Actually, no, I'm just going to talk about it here. I downloaded the demo, but I was really, really sleepy, so I played about 10 minutes of the demo. And the demo does not start out quickly. It's a lot of like, hello, you're in this town, like just so slow. So yeah, curious to see more about it, but I mean, it looks pretty cool. So there it is. There's a demo. Play it if you want. Alex said bad demo.
Don't play it.
So maybe don't play the demo.
Cancel the game.
Yeah. We got another trailer for Bayonetta 3. Nothing crazy new, just Bayonetta 3. Now we know. Get it. Yep. October 28th, day before my birthday. Look at that. Master Detective Archives Rain Code. This is by the same people as Danganronpa, and I guess kind of visual novel-y or something. I don't know much about that. And that's it.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about this game. This isn't a game for me, but it's a game for somebody. Somebody likes it, man. Somebody was hyped.
I mean, I know Danganronpa is like really popular, so.
W. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good for y'all.
There's definitely character design in this one, you know, with a capital C and a capital design. So there it is. Okay, Resident Evil Cloud version of
LOL.
A whole bunch.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, it's, I don't know. I still have them
I don't know.
am
I still
of
need
two
to
minds.
try. I still need to like actually try a cloud version of a game because like I think about doing it a lot and I never actually do it. And it's not even because like me personally, I don't care about most of the games that this happens for.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
have
exactly.
the consoles to play these games on and I don't. So like the cloud version is not going to make me want to play it. Like if anything, the only reason why I would play something like this is to make a video about it. But like I don't know, I have a sneaking suspicion that if I played it with my internet, it would be fine, and I would be fine with it.
Yeah.
But not everybody has the
And
same
if not,
situation. Then it's a problem.
If it's not fine with your exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's a problem. But we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we won't see. I gotta wait for a game that I'm interested in. But I don't know. I'll probably like boot it up one of these days or boot up one of them, and check it out. But it's just there's no third party game that like is something that I want to play that has a cloud version. So
Yeah. Same. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know that I would anyway, just because I don't really want to. But even more so, it's just like, yeah, none of them have appealed to me either.
yeah.
So there it is. Yeah. I still haven't played Resident Evil 4, and that's like the best one. So I don't know why I would start on one of these ones instead.
True.
But yeah. Next up, we saw Sifu, and I've heard good things about this game, and I think it's a really cool concept. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but like pretty neat.
I heard people complaining about what this game looks like visually, like compared to the other versions. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm gonna play Sifu, this is the closest that they're going to get to getting me to play Sifu.
Yeah.
Because like handheld mode playing this game, I'd do that.
Yeah.
And even more so, like that's how you know I don't care. Where it's like I don't care about the ideal like visual experience. Like if the game runs fine and I could play it in handheld mode, I'm playing it in handheld mode because this is the only way I would play this game.
It kind of seems like an AJ game in some ways, just because like the combat. Yeah, it feels like close to Smash kind of.
Yeah, it's very much so like a test of skill. Like, can you parry this? Like, and I'm all about that. But I just don't care about the theming and all that stuff enough to commit to play it on my PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I like casually play it in handheld mode on my Nintendo Switch system.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what people are saying about. I'm sure, I haven't seen enough footage on the other ones. Like it looks more.
It looks like an older game.
Yeah, it looks like an older game, but like also,
which I don't care. Like, does the game play well? Like that's why I have a Switch, not for visual marvels. I just want to play the game and it be convenient. That's all I want.
And it seems consistent within its art style, so I'm happy about that too.
Yeah, and I'll bring back the point before about like the first party games looking way better and stuff like because I'm hearing a lot of people being like, yeah, Switch getting long in the tooth, time to upgrade it because these third party developers are they're getting to the end of the rope, like they're maxing out the hardware. No, they're not. They're just not even trying to use the like specific like architecture of the console to make their game look as good as it possibly could. They're just like, okay, let's take the game that we currently have and hopefully it runs well enough, with the optimizations that we can and will make. But I guarantee you they are not getting down to the metal here and like trying to like make a game for the Switch on the Switch. They're trying to put their game on the Switch with as many concessions as is easy or doable and necessary.
Yeah.
They're not fine tuning it or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's that one. The next up, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
Yep, we know about this game.
We already know about this game, and this one. If I've ever been interested in playing a Final Fantasy game, this might be one. Cool. It looks fun. I don't know. I don't know that I actually am interested, but it just looks like something. But yeah, there it is. That's all I've got to say about that one. Next up, Radiant Silvergun. This is Alex said, prepared to be very confused. Well, I don't know that I actually am going to play it for what it's worth. It just looks interesting. So I believe it though. That's, Square Enix has they like confusion a little bit.
A little bit.
Radiant Silvergun is shoot 'em up, like a classic one from the Saturn. And here it is.
I didn't even know that this was an existing game.
Who's doing this? I want to say this is one of the games that I want to find out if this is true or not. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure this is one of the games that the studio that did Wonderling got bought by the same company that owns Embracer Group, and they're doing a bunch of like remasters and all that kind of stuff. And I think this might have been one of those. So yeah, but I'm not finding that information fast enough for me to care to look longer. So that's it. All right, I'm gonna just quick through some of these other ones. Endless Dungeon. There it is. I don't know anything about it. Happened. Tales of Symphonia Remastered. Cool.
Neat.
Good old time. There was a sizzle reel that had Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Collection, Romantic Saga Minstrel Strong Remastered, Lego Brick Tales, Disney Speedstorm, Fall Guys Season 2. So there's all that. And then we've got 2 more games. And then closing
this next
thoughts.
game is an L. I am a huge.
I'm curious in what way.
Fat L.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Giant fat old L.
How come?
One of the biggest L's I've seen in a long time.
Tell me more.
Because it's freaking only local multiplayer. Why?
Oh, that's a shame.
That's so dumb. That is so stupid. Like the whole thing. Like when this first popped up, I was like, if this has online multiplayer, I'm getting it. If it doesn't, I'm not. Like it's that plain and simple. Because like even with online multiplayer, it's a game that's like, I'll probably check it out. Like it's not something I was sold on anyway. But like without online multiplayer, it's like there's no reason for me to play this game. And I think that's going to be the case for like a lot of people. But it is a Kirby game and people like Kirby. So like Rise was like, this is the best game that announced because it's my favorite Kirby game. And I was like, that's cool for you and everything. Fun. But I think that it's an L for a lot of people that are not as blindly loyal to Kirby.
I would be interested to see online multiplayer is just because for me it's not a thing.
Post COVID, you not having online multiplayer is you selling. Like it's selling.
Yeah.
Like that is NL.
I mean, just like thinking about everybody that plays on PC and plays stuff to get I don't know. It's not just PC, but like that as a reference point for me. Cause like, I think my anecdotal reference points more often than not is like other families I know who like basically people who would be playing local multiplayer is, mostly the people that I'm thinking of in that regard. But like, nope, that's just not, that's, maybe half of the people or whatever, but I would be interested to know what the numbers would be there. Like if this had local and online, what would the ratio be? But even so, at this point, just put it in, like,
the thing about it is like, it is definitely enough of a thing that there are definitely many people like me that like, I'm just not going to buy this game because it doesn't have that. Just like if for a lot of people that are more like down for like Halo, for instance, like a lot of people are mad about that local split screen thing not being a thing. Like imagine that. But I would argue even more so because like online multiplayer I feel like is just easier to do for most people that play video games because either you're an adult and your time's limited and like it's not as easy to like get a bunch of adults together to play a video game, but it's pretty easy to be like, yo, let's hop in Discord and play the game for 20 minutes. Like that's super easy, but you can't really do that if it's only local. But like, local multiplayer is useful if you're a kid and you got siblings, like that sort of thing. Like if it's your situation and you mostly just play with your wife, Like it's useful for that. But I think online multiplayer is useful for everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is a shame. I do wonder, yeah, I'd be interested. I think Ashley wasn't super paying attention by the time this one came on, so I'd be curious to see if this is a game that she'd be interested in, and if so, then would be more likely to pick it up. Otherwise, I don't know that I care for me, but I mean, yeah, I also hear it's one of the, you know, one of the better 2D Kirby games, so that's something. Because people, it's not like people say that about Star Allies or anything, so that's not a metric that goes along there, but yeah, still. I don't know. We'll see. This is a game that's like neat in concept. Glad that it's here, but yeah, seems like a couple. I mean, mainly just one thing that's a shame, which is the online multiplayer.
Yeah, they dropped the ball hard on that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest dropped ball of the entire presentation, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep. Also, they called minigames sub games, and I don't know how I feel about it. They kept being like, play all the sub games, and I'm like, God, cut it out. So there it is. And then last but not least, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We officially have the name. We saw just a tiny bit more of the game, as we continue to do. Literally less than a minute of in-game stuff or whatever.
Which, I mean, I don't need to see more of the game. Just give me the game.
Yes, that's the one. But we do have a date as well, so that's
which is cool. But
that's fun.
Cringe. They should have committed.
That it's not.
Should have committed to the bit, man. You should have freaking canceled the Kirby Return to Dreamland and made that team work on this game so that we could get to March 3rd.
You're right. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, but I mean, game looks. I mean, it's technical marvel feels like, you know, I don't know. I don't develop games or whatever, but like the whole going through the clouds and seeing the land of Hyrule, but like even more of it than you'd ever seen before. Like all of that feels just like insane that it's happening and running on this console. And yeah, it's nuts. So I'm really curious about the lore stuff too. Like I've listened to at least one video,
like Zonai and whatnot.
All of that stuff, exactly. And like one thought that that happens that I'm on board with right now is that this is both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are both the beginning and the end of the Zelda story canon or whatever. Like the whole snake eating its own tail thing, the Ouroboros is just like the full loop. So like it's pre Skyloft and all that. Yeah. And
also after.
Exactly.
Because like the beginning of it all was before this Link fell into the like 100-year situation and freaking woke up. And then this game is like the conclusion, but also going into like before Skyward Sword.
Yep.
With like the time travel and whatnot.
Because we always see kind of like, we see the cycle of the things happening with Ganondorf and all that stuff, but we always just like jump into the middle of like, well, I guess the cycle started again, and here we are with a new Link and a new whatever. And so this one, if we see like behind the curtain of what happens for the cycle or whatever, you know, basically like the blood moon of the whole thing. Cause like in Breath of the Wild, you had the blood moon and then like moblins would come back and all that stuff. But like this just, you know, the reset of everything over and over again would be interesting. But whatever it is, I'm like, I like that there's also this much lore stuff that seems to be going on. I mean, there already was so much lore stuff for sure, but yeah, everything about this is just, man, looks so good. I don't know what this little flying thing is at the end.
Yeah, and like stone
little
bird thing. Yeah, like what the heck is happening there?
Is that something you get to ride around often? And like how do you control that in terms of like, is it kind of like your loft wing in that you can like choose where to fly with it? And like, is that fun? Because I didn't think the loft wings were that fun.
That I get from it, just from how we see it in the trailer, is that it's less of a thing that you use to fly off of and more a thing that makes movement easier for gliding.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I'm gliding, I'm losing stamina. Oh, shoot. Oh, but I have this thing I can land on and regain my stamina. And then you glide. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to yeet and I'm going to jump off again and glide more. That's the vibe that I got from the trailer.
Yep. That makes sense. Less like a car, more like a tram, where it's like, it's only going here, there, whatever. But like, you can hitch a ride if you want. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Looks good. Can't wait to play it.
There's the whole thing that people are like, is it tears? Is it tears?
I think the thing that solidified that it's actually tears is that other languages or whatever don't have the same like tears thing. And the other ones are like, it's tears. So, there it is. But yeah, still.
What's going on with the Master Sword? I mean, we already saw the Master Sword was broken, but what's going on with hold on, I'll put it up on the thing.
Yep.
Like there's a freaking like energy looking coming out of it. Like what the heck is this, man? Like what's that?
Yep. And I still want to know, like, is the ground like where the floating islands are? Has that created some like caverns underground or anything like that? Or because I mean, honestly, that would be a really interesting way to have even the exact same Hyrule, but just split up or whatever, where like now suddenly when you're Lon Lon Ranch is just floating up in the sky or something like that, and then underground where something would have been, now there's caves and all that kind of stuff. Like that could be just an easy way to make the exact same Hyrule become interesting again. But I don't know, I don't feel like we see that many holes in the ground, but also we haven't gotten a good look at it. So maybe not, but we see at least one area that looks suspiciously like it could be it, but yeah,
man,
I don't know. I'll be watching some analysis videos and stuff too, I think. And figures there's one spot. Okay, go to like 1 minute and 3 seconds in the video where you can see, so Link's falling. Right behind him, a couple of things. There's they're like towards the bottom middle. It looks like that's where ground has been ripped out.
Okay.
And is a hole or something.
Yep.
So that looks like it could be something like that. Also, just a little bit behind that, like behind it and to the left, it's hard to see in this shot, but you see it in a different shot, is like, oh, there's multiple of these. So when you, press play for a little bit. When he first lands on his little bird thingy, on the ground behind him is like a drawing of a face or a dragon or a something in the rock. And I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. It's so weird.
We shall see.
Yeah, I don't know. And that was the Nintendo Direct. Overall, I did feel like the pacing was a little bit odd in some places or whatever, but overall, there were lots of games that I would like to play that came out of it. So it was just a fun time. Yeah. I'm looking forward to.
Now, the question, do we want to do the other stuff? Or do we want to just do Q&A?
I'd say we don't.
And whatnot.
Yeah. I'd say we just do Q&A and
so skip games too. Skip games we're playing too.
Unless you have anything. I mean, I guess Splatoon.
Yeah, it's
probably.
Splatoon. Splatoon.
Yeah. I mean, here I'll say this about games. So yes, let's just skip to games and then Q&A.
Okay, here's games. What are we playing?
Nice. Finish Tinykin. It's fun. I think if it sounds fun, I said this last week, if it sounds fun to you, get the demo. If you like the demo, that's the game. Like that's the whole gameplay loop, and it's a good old time. There's extra little I
saw somebody was playing Tinykin on my Australian account. What was that?
Oh, that was me. I accidentally opened it on that because I had first, it was Ezra and I were downstairs and I started playing Splatoon for like 5 seconds, and then that wasn't working out well with the just room situation. So I closed that and I opened up Tinykin, and I have a video on my phone of some characters in the game, like Banjo-Kazooie talking, like and Ezra talking back to them in the same voice, and it was the cutest thing ever. And so yeah, she enjoys watching Tinykin, so I put that on, but was starting it again from the beginning.
Does she like know any words yet?
Barely, like mama and dada and stuff, and then some other things that sound kind of like similar to words, but not, because she's not like, a lot of things that are like
a little younger than my youngest niece Asaya, and she like talks, and I don't understand how my sister understands her, but she understands her, and I'm like, how?
Yeah,
like I sent her a video of I was watching her freaking, what was that, last week? I was watching her at some point, and she was like talking about our dog, and it was like, dog, and then she said a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, I heard dog, I heard you said something about the dog, you can't play with the dog, you're allergic to the dog.
Yeah.
But then I sent it to Asian. She was like, oh, she said this, this, and this. And I was like, how do you know that?
Like, no, I've definitely seen that. That's like, we were at some friend's house for their kid's birthday party, and same kind of thing where like their 2-year-old or something like that was saying stuff. And I was like, I could not tell you what they're saying. She's like, oh no, he's saying all this stuff. I was like, all right, sure, if you say so. So yeah, we've got some of that, but it's kind of still a work in progress for sure. Yeah, she's 16 months, so not quite a year and a half. So
niece,
not a whole lot
turned
yet.
2 like last week.
Nice. Yeah. Fun times. So yeah, but that's games I'm playing, pretty much that. Played a little bit of Splatoon, but just haven't had a chance for a whole lot. But have been enjoying. I tweeted about this. Just played some table turf, and I do like table turf. It is a good old time.
It's neat. I play a little bit of it. I played a decent amount. I got like I'm on it looks like the second to last person. There's like
nice.
people that you unlock. I don't know if it scrolls further than that, but it looks like I got the second to last person.
Nice.
I have 2 decks. I don't really fully understand the reasoning behind making more than one deck, but I have one deck that's like super aggro. Where it just has like a lot more like 15 and 16 splat cards. But yeah, no, that's definitely like a thing where it's like, I want to play something. I don't feel like sitting down. It's handheld mode. I can just lay down and chill. That's when I play that.
That is nice.
But it's all right.
And I guess you've maybe played a little bit of Splatoon 3, like the regular game, maybe here and there.
A little tiny bit. I like actually have not really been able to play the single player, which makes me kind of sad. Because I want to mostly I want to stream it. I want to stream all of it. I don't know if I want to 100% it on stream. Like I was kind of like beelining the like what is like absolutely necessary to progress. Like I skipped many levels in the first. I think I just like got to the second world. I'm like almost done with the second world. So I'm gonna try to do that on Mondays to like play that, but that has like not allowed me to play a whole lot of the single player, and I'm kind of sad about that because it is fun. I like playing the single player. Yeah, but like needing to play it first, or not needing to, but wanting to play it for stream, it makes it harder to do that. Which is why for Pokemon, I'm playing Pokemon many times, but I'm gonna like me and Trev, and Lee probably are gonna steamroll this video game. Like the game's gonna come out in Australia at like freaking 8 a.m. or whatever. I'm up, dude. I'm playing it. Nice. That is going to be the Thursday, and then I get like for that week, probably do the podcast on Friday for that week.
Checks out.
But
yeah, I played like a little bit more of the single player. I'm still in the first area and just have done like some of the levels in there, and then played some multiplayer and stuff as well. And the mechanic, honestly, like just doing things in it, it's just fun. Like I like that. I'd be interested to at some point, whenever I have time, do multiplayer with people like you guys.
I mean, see, the thing is, like, whether you want to or not, if you play multiplayer, you're going to be playing with people. Like,
exactly.
No, I just mean like people in the community, because it's not hard to like be like, oh, Parker's online, I'll join in on his session, you know, like
interesting.
It's very easy to drop in and drop out. It is super easy to do that. That's what I was talking about in the like intro. Like literally, I'll just be playing the game just to play the game, and then I'll see like, oh, Alex here, oh, Trev's here, oh, Mega Man's here. All right, well, I'll hop in 8-bit, you know, like I mean, in the game night and chill out. It's very easy to like jump in and jump out.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I realized in the couple of turf wars that I've played, I've won and I've lost, and with randos, it doesn't it's fun to win, but it also doesn't feel like, you know, it feels like I could have been put with some people that are way better than me or way worse than me. And so like I don't necessarily feel like a huge sense of victory on a personal level. So I feel like playing with people that I know has a little bit more weight for those reasons, for sure.
Be a lot. It'll feel like you accomplished something because you're able to like play a role, you know, like whether you're the best person or not, it can still be like, oh, Parker, I need you to ink over here because I'm not over there. Oh, I need covering because I'm being shot at and I can kill this guy. But like, it would be way easier if like I can maneuver in a place that I can't both shoot him and provide cover ink, you know, like that sort of thing. Especially like when you're early on in the game, it's easier to get better at the game if you're on a team that can like point you in the right direction.
But yeah, that said, it's fun. And it's a good game, you know?
It's a fun game. Also, I do want to point out, I was on another podcast and I talked about this a little bit, but my batting average with this game, it's still trucking. Haven't heard a single person be like, I regret buying this game. I'm telling you, it's a good game. It is a good game. It is a very accessible game. It is a game that is hard to not find something that resonates with you, unless you don't like action game. And by action games, I mean like Mario. Like if you don't like those, maybe you won't like it. Maybe don't buy this, because don't buy it for freaking table turf mode. Like table turf mode is fun, but don't spend $60 on it. But like if you like those type of games, even if you're like Parker or Alec, where it's like, I don't usually like playing multiplayer games, don't let that stop you. It is a fun game. You'll have fun, I promise. And even if you're like that and you actually truly like end up feeling that way anyway, the single player is enough. So there will be something for pretty much everybody, unless you don't like platformers / action games. Then maybe don't get it. But yeah, that's playing games wise. I think that's about it for me. I played a little bit of Clubhouse games just because it was an easy, like, open it up and play something in the background. I'd forgotten it did too until at some point I pulled it up, and now it's just like sitting on my home screen. I don't have that game on my OLED.
Nice. But yeah, I like playing Yahtzee. It's really dumb, but like that's just like if I only had like 10 minutes.
And she
would freak your mom out. And I should play some Yahtzee together.
Literally anytime anybody got a Yahtzee. It doesn't matter if it's her. It could be
like
anybody.
Happy freak out.
Yes, like happy freak out. Like
that's
scream
so nice.
Very loudly that somebody got a Yahtzee.
Love it.
Yeah, this is a good time. What was I going to say? Oh, Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers super hype right now, dude. Freaking Tweak playing Pokemon Trainer, and he's happy about it. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's good time to be a Pokemon Trainer player, dude. Like, literally, so, like, on his podcast, Tweak Talks, check it out. It's pretty good. He was talking about, like, his run for Summit, which is a tournament that is happening currently. And he was talking about Pokemon Trainer, and he was like, yeah, like... I'm like, I just mostly want to play Pokemon Trainer. Like, he's still playing Diddy Kong, but he's like, if he could do it all Pokemon Trainer, he's going to do it all Pokemon Trainer. I was like, yo, that's a W, man. It's a W. Yeah. So I'm about to,
that's awesome.
about to get the the passive level up just by watching him. You know, like, already just like small stuff that he'll talk about. Like he's trying to like use water gun more with Squirtle. I was like, yeah, maybe I should try that, because like I use water gun and like it works and stuff, but like it gets to a point where I'm like, this is like not working, but I feel like it's working too well, and eventually somebody will get adjusted,
get wise to it,
and yeah, exactly. And it's like that's not necessarily the case. Like sometimes you'll lose with that mindset. And also I have this whole thing where it's like it's annoying hearing people complain about quote unquote spamming, which I think that people are dumb and they don't understand the concept of what spamming even really means. That I'll preemptively, to avoid even hearing that complaint, I'll be like, I'm going to just use random moves just so they don't think that I'm like, I can't win without other moves or whatever, right? But like I just don't care anymore.
I think like, because honestly, the like true kind of spamming, you can't win doing that unless you're, you know,
because actual
if you're playing
spamming,
against good players and stuff,
actual spamming, and like you think of spam mail, you know, it's like it's a shotgun blast. I hope this works. You know, it's not, I'm using this because I know it will work, you know, like, and that's with like stuff like water gun or something that I'm less like, willing to bend the knee on, with Razor Leaf or Ivysaur. Like, Ivysaur's whole neutral is Razor Leaf, because Ivysaur gets everything off of Razor Leaf. Like it's not like a Samus charge shot where it's like, oh well, I'll hit you with this until you die. It's like, I'm gonna hit you with this because it sets up every other move I have, you know. And his base tools, like his movement and stuff like that, is not good, but he has Razor Leaf, so it allows him to bypass the bad movement, because Razor Leaf can move for him, you know. So yeah, just being able to get better at the game, because there's going to be a lot of VODs that I can look at and see what he does right and what he does wrong, and working into my gameplay. Also, Smash Brothers is hype because still, you know, like Trev's more into it and stuff, and like Eric wants to get into it, and like arenas are filling up faster because like everybody's playing the game right now. It's pretty hype.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Game is
good
fun.
stuff. Any other games you're playing before we get into Q&A?
Am I playing any other? I mean, we also play on Tuesdays, on Smash Tuesdays, we play Pokemon. Trying to get shinies before the new video game comes out, and we may or may not be able to get shinies as easily. Who knows?
True.
No shinies. We're on a dry spell, man. It's not looking good for us right now. But it's fun. I like playing it. Good times.
Yeah. And good times is also what we like to call the Q&A segment, you know, because it is. Speaking of which, Q&A.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let asked, if it were up to you, how would you promote an upcoming game release? Would you start early or close to launch? Reveal a lot or a little, etc., etc.?
Well, we know my general opinion on this, but it really does depend on the type of game it is, and like if it's a known quantity or not. Like I feel like for a game like Pokemon Company mostly does a great job at marketing their video game. Like the fact that like you can you know the beats to it, so like you know how much or how little you like for something that's a known quantity. That's usually my my criticism for them having long marketing cycles. It's like, I don't want to have to care about this for this long. I just want it to be out. But Pokemon does it in a way that like you don't have to actively care. Because like my brother, he's super hyped for this game. He's always asking me, he's like, yo, when's Pokemon come out again? Like, I want to play Pokemon. Is it out? Can I download it right now? I'm like, nah, a trailer just came out. He's like, I don't want to watch a trailer. I just want to play the game. You know, like you can choose not to engage with the trailers because like, again, it's a known quantity. So it's not like how I feel a lot of people feel about like Breath of the Wild, the sequel, freaking Tears of the Kingdom, where it's like, but like, what if it's not the same thing? But what if it's too much of the same thing? You know that whole thing. It's Pokemon, so like,
and
like
Pokemon has the benefit also of having lots of Pokemon to where like the closer they get to release, they can still be announcing stuff, but not like
not spoiling things,
not spoiling that much stuff. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, like 20 Pokemon, but there's 120 different new Pokemon there are. So like, you know, it's not that big of a deal at that point, which is a nice kind of compromise.
So with that said, if I were to make a game, I had any, like, if I had the right marketing channels, like if it wasn't a thing that's like, I got to figure out how to be able to like speak to millions of people, but can't currently, you know, like if I had an option for Nintendo Directs, say, I would announce my game 4 months out, literally 4 months out. I would be sure to like show the most compelling part of the video game, like gameplay wise, like why is this game fun? And it needs to be something that's like super visual, like to use Splatoon for example. Like Splatoon's a really easily demoable game where it's like, oh, it's a shooter where your ink is your ammo, you refill that ammo by shooting that ammo and swimming in that ammo, and that also helps you avoid other people's, you know, like that sort of thing. Like show a trailer that like really makes that clear, show that the game's frenetic and interesting, highlight the features that like make sense, like Splatoon. It's a shooter, so you should know that it has really like seamless lobby system, and games are easy to find, and there's multiple modes, and also for the people that didn't know, single player, blah blah blah. About a 2 to 3 minute long trailer. And then, you know, social media within the next couple months post like screenshots of like, look at this character's cool, here's a little bit about this character, but not too much, because like you won't really know, you just know enough to know you should care, you know. And then, you know, like a month before the game comes out, drop another trailer, and then the week of the game, like a day or two before, drop another trailer, and that's when reviews would happen 2-3 days before the game comes out, and then drop the game. That's what I would do.
That makes sense. I mean, timeline wise, probably about the same. I'm gonna say whatever the game is that I'm doing has a lot of like lore kinds of stuff in it.
Drop everything always, says Howie. But yeah.
So I would go, I think, like vague and vibe first. So that just create some intrigue and all that. I think that's what I'm going to say. And then, I mean, I don't know. I don't have like ideas of, and I mean, obviously some gameplay, so that at least it's obvious like what genre it is or whatever, instead of like.
That's why I just use Splatoon, because it's easy to like break it down into like, this mechanic can be marketed in this way, and you know.
So yeah, I'd say that. And then, I mean, probably a lot of the same stuff. And then when the game comes out, have a demo. I feel like, to me, demos are good. There's a bunch of games I don't know, like
demos just depend on the type of game it is.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, demos can definitely work.
See that.
I mean, it's a big reason why Splatoon worked, is because it like pioneered the whole like test fire situation. And they even forewent that for the most part. Where they're like, oh, here's the Splatfest. It's just straight up the game. You know, like for this day you can play the video game, you know.
Honestly, I feel like Splatoon 3 would do fairly well to have a demo of just the like opening like the single player stuff that just goes up through that first boss.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, especially for people to, if you don't know whether or not you're into shooters and stuff,
I think that they should feels like as a demo, the ideal thing for Splatoon is to put all the preliminary stuff in the demo.
Yep.
Like how to play turf war with your friends, you have to do one turf war by yourself. Put the ability to do literally one turf war, and then after that you can't access it anymore. And then
or like level up to like level question, like
level
3
4
or
like
something like that.
Level 4, because that's when you can enter the shops and stuff like that. So allow for up to level 4. Do the first like little micro. I don't know how far you got. How much did you play the story mode?
I think I got up to level 4 and did the story mode. Story mode. I'm still in the first area, just doing
so the first area is like a tutorial area for the most
Oh,
part.
sorry. I mean the first like
The first like actual world.
yes.
Okay,
exactly.
that's what I mean though. Like
Mm-hmm.
the tutorial area, that's the demo. Like that's part of
That's
it.
the demo.
And then
Totally agree.
like same thing for Salmon Run. It's like you just get to do like the boss training and stuff like that. So that way when you actually have the game and you know that you like the game, you don't have to like convince the game that you've played the game and you understand the game.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that would be a smart thing to do for Splatoon specifically. But something like Smash Brothers, I don't think it really makes sense to have a demo. Because that's the whole content, especially if like say the demo is freaking if the demo had Pokemon Trainer in it, I probably would never buy the game if I was just like a super casual, because like I have everything I want. I can get good at the character, and if I want to play the game competitively, I don't have to like own the game to do that, like the full game. I just got to know how to like practice Pokemon Trainer combos. And if I
feel
have
like
access to the character, I'll need to do
for
that.
Smash, your demo could just be. I think Pokken had a demo that was like you can do 15 battles, and that was like, that's it. Just do 15
it would
battles.
Have to be something like that.
I feel like something like that, where it's like, because otherwise you're totally right. It's like the first game was a roster of maximum 12 characters. So like, if a demo had like, oh, we'll let you sample 8 of them, it's like that's basically a whole game if you want. Like, and even some modern fighting games, that's like more or less a whole roster. So. Yeah. Or like Chronically Cal said, could they do a time limited one like the cloud games have? Yeah. They something like that. Or like, I mean, I think Octopath Traveler was the same. You can play 3 hours of it.
Do with a cloud game though.
True. Yeah. Because you can just shut it off entirely.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's options for sure. And like, I feel just generally, I feel like knowing what you're getting into when you're buying something is always a win, and demos are about the best way to accomplish that. So like
the only thing,
I feel like they're,
and it's not even like, it can feel like a lot of developers don't do demos because they're trying to trick you into buying their game. Especially after this whole thing with Splatoon, I think people will talk themselves out of a good time. So I think that is an important reason to also chill out on the demos, you know, because people can feel like I got enough of this, but like in reality, if you bought it, you might realize you like it a lot more than you thought you did.
I mean, there's definitely demos that I've played that if I bought the game, I would like it a lot. And I was like,
with freaking not a demo, but it happened with me with Fire Emblem. Like,
yeah. I'm trying to think, like there's some games I even remember thinking back on and being like, that was a fun, I mean, easily, I feel like somebody could do that with Dragon Quest 11, because like, this is a 10-hour demo. So like, you would have to, make sure to be hooked to want to play the rest of it. And there's a bunch of other games like that too, where like, it's got to be enough to make you want to play more of it. And sometimes the taste of it, and like for me especially, I'll be honest, I like playing demos partly so that I can like understand what's going on in like the discourse or meta or whatever, without necessarily having to spend money on everything. Cause like, I don't necessarily want to play the whole game for everything, but it's just nice to know what's going on.
I think is a different case.
It is. Yeah.
And that's why I'm honestly more on like where the developers come out on the other side of it, where it's like, it just makes sense. Cause I know, granted, I understand like people don't have infinite time. People don't have infinite money, but if you're playing video games, one of, if not the, as far as like accessible hobbies go, most expensive hobbies, you gotta be prepared to spend some money sometimes. And I'm sure that all of us have spent some money on a game that we didn't know from front to back if we were going to like it or not. It just looked vaguely interesting, and then we picked it up and loved it, So I think that it would just be better if you have disposable income to do that more often, because again, like I said, with Splatoon, I've seen it of like people like fight tooth and nail to convince themselves and everybody else that it is something that they are not going to like, and then they play it and they freaking love it. And that is like for me, that type of thing is insufferable. Like, it's one thing to be like, I don't want to spend money, like that's fine, that's fine, but to go out of your way to like make it seem like something isn't worth your time when it's like very clearly something that you would enjoy. It's so cringe. Like I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Just freaking give stuff a chance, you know?
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm with you. Next question comes from Dirt Marcos. Am I freezing a little bit, by the way?
I don't know. I'm like going back and forth between the chat and stuff. So
okay, cool.
it doesn't
just
sound
curious.
like you're freezing. So
Nice. Then that's a win. All right. Dirt Marcus asks, Splatoon 3, what's your favorite map and your worst map? And if you could change anything in the maps, what would it be? Honestly, for me, ink rails or rotating object in the game would be nice. Or more ink rails or rotating objects in the game would be nice.
My least favorite map, that it's first because it's the most easy thing to talk about, is the freaking the museum place, the water place. Hate it. Hate that map. Terrible. Every other map I'm fine with. There's literally no map that I'm like, this is my favorite map. I love this map. And I mean, to be fair, that's mostly just because like me as a person, I'm not like a favorites person. Like there's definitely a few things that I can like easily identify as like, that's a favorite. Pokemon Blue, you know, not Pokemon Blue the game, Pokemon Blue, you know, like that sort of thing. But if people ask me what my favorite food is, I don't know. Like, who my best friend is, I don't know. You know, it's like it changes. Sometimes I'm closer with this person, sometimes I'm closer, you know. And that's how I feel about Splatoon maps, where it's like there's a map that I hate, and then there's everything else. That's pretty good, you know. Like.
No, that makes sense. I have none opinions. I've only played like 3 of them, so look at that. But yeah.
As far as like what I would change, I think like a level that plays around with the ink rails, Mahi Mahi Resort is the map. Cal put it in chat. Thank you. Hate it. But yeah, the levels that play around with the ink rails more, that would be cool. But like do it in a way that is like, I don't think making the ink rails like the star of the show, it would be fun. I think though, if there's like using the ink rails and it's like this risk reward thing of like, it'll help you get to this like surface area that is like, it's the only way to get there, right? Because then it's like, oh, okay, well, people can take the risk and try to get those extra points, but also the other team can be like, well, you're obviously going up there, so I'm going to shoot you before you can, you know, like I think stuff like that could be neat. Rotating stuff, like, yeah, that'd be cool too. I think that like, even though I don't like Mahi Mahi, I like the idea of like the map evolving as time goes on. So like finding ways to introduce that mechanic without it like causing your death until then is also a welcome addition, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Next question. GK Dope.
Hold on, one more thing. I just thought of one more thing. It would be cool if there was like a map that like there was not necessarily like completely random, but if it flipped on its head about the wall thing, like how if you ink walls, it doesn't count to, I don't even know if you know this, but people that play Splatoon, inking walls do not count towards your score. But for this map,
that's good to know.
Theoretical map, randomly at like a minute left in the game, like certain walls will flip down and become the floor. So it's like this whole thing of like, you could like ink the wall just naturally by playing the game and stuff like that, but it rewards the people that tried to do that. Or it's like a Mahi Mahi Resort like thing of like, okay, we have more surface area, everybody go and try to ink this, you know. I think that would be interesting.
That is interesting. Also, definitely did not know that about the walls. I know at least 1 or 2 times I was going around and just trying to ink everything I could, including spending obviously too much time on the walls, not knowing that they, and like some of the walls that like are just decorative on the side that don't go anywhere.
It's like Breath of the Wild, how you can't climb everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Except it's very intentional. I mean, it's annoying. Like people, we were talking about this in the game night channel, where it's like, it's annoying that like in certain maps there's like like patches of ground that you can't ink because you can't swim, and it's like, yeah, that's risk reward. It's like,
Yeah.
They're doing that on purpose because they don't want you to always feel safe. They want it to be a thing of like, oh, I can get a lot of points if I go over here, but to go over there, you gotta risk it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool to see those kind of things come in. GK Dope Esquire asked, I've never got around to getting Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but it's been on my list of games to get when I have the time for it. Now that 4 is coming next year, is there any reason to play Pikmin 3 Deluxe?
I mean, I can't really tell you that because I haven't played. I mean, I'm sure I played a little bit of Pikmin 1 and or 2 on the Wii or GameCube at one point or another, but I have definitely not played enough of Pikmin 1 or 2 to know the lore, you know? But I played Pikmin 3 anyway, and I enjoyed it anyway. So, like, I would assume that Pikmin 4 will be similar. So, like, if you don't actively care about the lore and want to know, like, all this stuff before you go into the game, then no. But if you would like that additional insight to be like, oh, Olimar, that's who that is, you know, like, before you play the game, then, pick it up. It's a good game. If that's anything, like, if that pushes you in one direction or another.
I feel like the lore, I mean, having played it in the other games and stuff like that, like, exists, but it's so minimal that, like, it probably wouldn't be a reason I would advise to get it or not get it personally. But I'd say it's kind of one of those, like, more of a good thing sorts of things where, like, I can't tell from this if you've played 1 and 2 before. So if, like, Pikmin 3 Deluxe would be your first Pikmin ever. And then, so the question, I guess, from my perspective would be more like, would you like to get a taste, like, do some of it, and then whenever Pikmin 4 comes out, just get to play more of a similar kind of a thing? And, like, probably it'll have some, like, slightly more complicated mechanics that exist that are kind of building off of what's already there. So, you know, but it also, it's like, definitely going to still be approachable. So, like, so you could either do it in that way or wait, do the Zeitgeist game of Pikmin 4. When that's done, be like, I want to play more of this without just playing the same game again. Get Pikmin 3 Deluxe at that point. Maybe it'll be on sale or cheaper or whatever at that point, you know, even. But I think that would probably be the what I would say too. But yeah, I mean, the lore thing, that's obviously part of it as well. So any of the above, I don't know if there's a clear cut answer, is I guess what I'd say there. To do whatever. But yeah, Pikmin 3, like AJ said, Pikmin 3 is real good. Second question, also from him. That giant glider in the Tears of the Kingdom trailer looks pretty cool. What kind of new travel tools / vehicles / mechanics would you add if you were designing the game?
A rebreather, so you can swim in the underwater.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Otherwise, it's tricky because, like, I don't know what it all kind of depends on the whole game design overall, where, like, you know, what the travel is like to get back up to the islands and going between the islands and stuff. Like, I don't know what that looks like, because I would want it to be something that's like,
shut up, Trev.
I mean, like we've said a million times.
Trev said you don't need a rebreather for that, AJ. You just need a blue tunic. Nah, no.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
But, like, it's like, you know, the whole risk reward thing, again, like we've said a million times on this episode, is not wanting to make it too easy to travel between the different places and trivialize, like, the excitement of getting to a new place, but also not wanting to make it, like, annoying to have to travel at all. Like, I don't know what that looks like based on some of the rest of it,
but it needs to be fun to get from point A to point B, and like, just allowing you to yeet everywhere is not going to be fun. Unless the build up to the yeet is fun, like how you can yeet with the glider, but, like, you climb up and they do the thing, and, you know.
It's true. So we'll see. But yeah, I think the blue tunic idea that AJ had was a really good one.
That's cringe. I didn't say blue tunic.
Lastly, Mega Man said, not a question, but more a comment. I hope that the camera controls for GoldenEye has changed and the online connection is great. Glad to see it come to Switch along with Pokemon City 1 and 2.
It's going to be terrible. It's going to be a bad game. But, like, I hope you guys have fun with it anyway.
Yeah. And the follow-up question from Mega Man, what is your least favorite food? Hashtag our refoods.
Least favorite food.
That's tough. I feel like I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
What, least favorite food and what kind, like food that I just don't like.
I think like
I think the
if
closest,
somebody offered you food, what's the thing that you'd most vehemently be opposed to eating? I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if I can rank that. I think that there's a lot of stuff that I don't like, but like the thing that comes to mind in the way that I would interpret this question most times is like food that I like will still eat, but it's not necessarily, it's not my favorite thing. I don't prefer it, but I'll eat it. I feel like that with steak. Steak is like, it's fine. I'll eat it.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm not like, I feel a lot of people are with steak where it's like, I get to have steak today. it's like I guess we're having steak. Like, I suppose. I'm like,
That's funny. So you would not have wanted to win the episode 200.
Also, freaking, what are you like? You got to tell me details on that, man. Like, what?
I'd forgotten until literally right now.
Yeah, I was gonna do that when you were here. Because that was just the easy way to do it.
Yeah,
but now it's like, when and where do you want to do that?
We could just pretend it's already happened, and I'm good for that.
Dude.
I will say, so for me, least favorite foods, again, depends on the question.
I'm not pretending that it's already happened. We'll wait until the next time that you're here or we're in the same place, and that's what we'll do.
Yep. Which should be in the next couple of months. I need to go back up to pick up some stuff for my grandparents. So
sounds good.
Hopefully that should be a thing. We'll see. So yeah, and then for me, least favorite foods, interpreting it as the thing I said of like wouldn't want to eat it if somebody gave it to me. Probably licorice. Like that's it's a candy, so like less of a like food in terms of a meal or whatever. But that's like the closest thing that I can think of that I just like would spit out and like would not enjoy in any way. Whereas my mom loves licorice, so. Some people are just crazy like that, you know?
True.
But yeah, outside of that, like most things, I feel like most things, if somebody offered it to me, I'd eat it, but not licorice. So, and with that, this episode hopefully has not been licorice for you, unless you like licorice, in which case I hope it has been licorice for you.
The best licorice you ever had, man.
Yep. And there it is. That is the end of the podcast. We will see you next time on another podcast.
Do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast, listen to the podcast, go on podcast services. If you're watching on YouTube, freaking download it. If you're listening on podcast services, go on YouTube, subscribe, like the video. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.